the children, to the physical environment, to the access. And I'm delighted with the comments by President-elect. And I pray that we can recognize sustainable development.
Well, we will work with Northwest, but I think what's to be recognized here is the state doesn't sit on the board of directors, the state doesn't manage Northwest Airlines, it never has. But we will certainly do everything we can to cooperate with Northwest.
I'll come back and get you a little bit. You guys are up.
Sam Cook with the newspaper here in Duluth.
Sam, hi.
Nice to meet you, Ted.
I've played some of your songs in the past.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And this must be Mike Burkle. Hi, Mike. Good to see you.
He was still an hour away from showtime last night, but Ted Nugent, the Motor City madman, already had his engine revving full throttle, talking about his cross-country crusade in support of hunting and his involvement with his own organization, the Ted Nugent World Bow Hunters.
All we want you to do is realize that if you don't choose to hunt, that's natural because there's always been hunters and gatherers. But to be against hunting, legal, conscientious, ethical hunting practices, to be against that is to be against nature itself.
Nugent's life revolves around his music and hunting. It's even part of the show in his group's current concert tour. Offstage, he takes aim at anti-hunters and anyone else giving his favorite passion a bad name.
Because here's some hunters. Well, gosh, I thought I'd go hunting. Anybody got any chewing tobacco? That's why they're uncomfortable, because I'm so sophisticated I scare them. The hunters that have a problem with Ted Nugent are probably the same hunters that go, yeah, bring your bow and 25 bottles of beer. We're going hunting, time for beer. If people don't get it, it's not up to me to give them a press release and let them know what I'm made out of. There are a bunch of guys in this world. So you know who those hunters are? Those are the same hunters that every time they've seen a lie about hunting, they've turned the page and done nothing. They're so apathetic as to be neutered.
These types of comments make some hunters uneasy about Nugent representing their sport. But with 10,000 members in World Bow Hunters, he does have support, including this 43-year-old mother of three.
Oh, there's several things that Ted has to say that I feel very strongly about myself. Bow hunting is a real family activity. It's good for the family. It's good for the herd management. There's a lot of things we have to do. 5 years ago, I wasn't really too sure who Ted was. And it's taken an educational process, and I followed him very closely on his opinions and what he has written. Other people that have had a chance to meet him who are very well respected within the archery and the bow hunting community. And I was thrilled.
Like him or not, Ted Nugent comes at you in only one way, the same way he shoots and plays his music.
Somehow, somebody's actually accepted the lie that a chicken McNugget got that way in less painful fashion than my pheasant dinner, which I didn't know whether I should laugh or throw up at such a preposterous assumption.
In Duluth, I'm Mike Birkland, rocking indoors this week in the Northland.
Merry Christmas! Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Love and joy. Presents.
Presents?
Yeah.
What's at the top of your list this year?
Fast tracks.
A coffee clutch you could.
It's my town, and it's named Littleville. It's some houses and a school, and there's a grocery store and a church.
That's not ever been done before. In some ways, we made some cuts that I didn't want to see, and that some of the counselors didn't want to see, and certainly the department heads didn't want to see. But we got to the end what we needed to get for our kids' sake.
Let's face it, for most of us, this is Christmas shopping. Aisles of toys with thousands of possibilities, most at prices we can afford. But if you're looking for that one special gift, the one of a lifetime, here's a place for you. This little Abner wind-up band is bound to bring smiles. The price tag, $785. This colorful Ferris wheel, a steal at just $220.
Well, the cat Ferris wheel, if I'm not mistaken, that's a Japanese piece, and it is, again, all there in good working order, and that's, again, what makes it hot. Japanese toys from the 60s are very hot right now, especially the wind-up models.
Playing Army with this Coast Defense toy is an expensive proposition, $1,100. Don't laugh, people are paying these prices.
Collectors, people who are looking to grab their past back. You saw the NBC, you said, oh, why, that's neat, I like that. Well, there are a lot of people who are collectors of just Popeye items, who collect nothing but race cars, who collect nothing but tin wind-ups, Japanese wind-ups from the 60s.
Remarkably, these high-priced toys for big kids were stashed in attics and garages in northern Minnesota awaiting discovery. Tonight, after the news, you may want to go search for your own childhood treasures.
I've had people sell their toys through us who have taken vacations and gone to Hawaii.
As for me, Santa, if you're listening, I have my eyes on this little number, a battery-operated NBC live truck from the 60s, complete with photographer and ready to go. Michelle Lee for NBC News.
The Chum Food Shelf in Duluth is one very busy place. With just a week before Christmas, volunteers are filling box after box with food for needy families. Unfortunately, the numbers of those that need help are up this year. Even so, there's still plenty to go around.
I think compared to statewide, the Duluth Food Shelf is probably the healthiest food shelf in the state.
But it seems as if Duluth is the only city in Minnesota that has heightened its giving this year. The Toys for Tots campaign in the Twin Cities has received 190,000 requests for toys and collected only 28,000 so far. Luckily, that's not a problem here in the Northland. Thanks in part to people like Donna Carlson, John Gustafson, and other employees at the depot in Duluth. They're sponsoring a family in need this holiday season with
socks and underwear.
Plus, there's 3 very small children, so we got clothing for them, but we also got some wonderful little toys.
Okay. Why do you do this?
Feels good.
We need to. We need to take care of our community.
And the community can use the help. Inside the Salvation Army, these volunteers are preparing for the toy and food basket distribution next week. Here again, the need is high, but the giving spirit is too.
I just sense a real good spirit of cooperation in the community, people working together, people caring, and we've just been able to tell our story to the public.
The ending to the story is that there is no end, and donations are still needed at all the charities around the Northland. In Duluth, Heather Filkins, News 6.
Hanukkah is much more for children than Passover. Passover is pretty much the whole remembrance of the Jews coming out of Egypt. Hanukkah is much more religious or more symbolic for children to remember what happened early days.
And saw flames shooting from the roof. The fire, which began in the second floor apartment of this fourplex, quickly spread to the third floor in the attic. Neighbors watched as 12 crews worked to contain the blaze. 3 people were taken to Hennepin County Medical Center. 2 never got out. Fire officials had a difficult time controlling the blaze. They simply couldn't enter the second floor until the fire was completely under control. The fire, which began in the second floor apartment of this fourplex, quickly spread to the third floor in the attic. Neighbors watched as 12 crews worked to contain the blaze. 3 people were taken to Hennepin County Medical Center. 2 never got out. Fire officials had a difficult time controlling the blaze. They simply couldn't enter the second floor until the fire was
dated December 22nd, 1992, alleging 3. We're done.
The Hansen family established the weekly paper 12 years ago, finding success in documenting the ups and downs of life in a small community. The tables were turned this weekend when the publisher took a near-fatal fall in his parents' home, breaking his neck. Skip Hansen was paralyzed from his chest down. He now faces months of hard physical therapy. When word of Skip's accident got out, community leaders came up with the idea of a town photograph.
Are you surprised at the turnout today?
Not really. I think it's an indication of how our community and area feels about Skip, and we certainly wish him the very best in his recovery.
Today, just before noon, nearly 200 people began to gather in the Moose Lake Town Square.
We figured we'd get everybody had come from every angle and every corner, and there were folks here from Cloquet and from Pine County, and no, they wanted to say hi to Skip, send a message.
Braving a minus 40-degree wind chill, they posed with special props for their greeting to Skip. An avid golfer, friends held up clubs in salute, challenging the newspaper publisher to recovery and a golf game in the spring.
We want to tell Skip very clearly that we're pulling for him, and we want him to be the fighter that he is, because he's always been a fighter. And this is a tough break, but life is going to go on, and we're going to help Skip.
In small towns, tragedy has a way of bringing folks together, even competitors. The man in the cherry picker taking today's photo is Jerry Durangs, the publisher of the Star-Gazette. The leader's phones have been ringing like crazy with offers of help to get the next edition out on the street. And organizers of today's turnout say it's just the beginning of efforts to help the Hansen family through their time of need.
We're anxious to see you, Skip, and the whole community. We aren't going to come up and charge in there like animals, but when you start feeling better, we're going to come up and see you. And we're here, you know we're here, and we're looking forward to seeing you real soon.
The public has donated. Pretty nice, isn't it? I've avoided it so far this month.
I feel extremely positive about the overall campaign. We have seen more need than we ever have before, and so that makes me feel good that the Salvation Army was able to respond to that. And also the generosity of the community. People have been bringing in toys and food and cash donations and just anything they possibly could come up with to try and help their neighbors. And we've been in the fortunate position of being in the middle of all of that, being the recipients of people's generosity, but then also being the ones able to give out that toy or that food basket and really.
This morning at Hayward, Wisconsin's hospital, the Setrum family of Cable rejoiced in spending this Christmas day together. 12-year-old Holly's hands were bandaged, but considering what she's been through, she's thankful.
Head first dive.
This is the Setrum home, or at least what's left of it. Fire early Thursday morning destroyed everything the family had. Kim Setrum had gone to pick up his wife Debbie from work when a fire broke out. Holly and brother John were forced to rely on the lessons they'd been taught.
I found my way up, then I quick jumped out, and no, I was sitting there coughing on the ground because I breathed in so much smoke.
At Hayward's hospital today, the Setrum family spent this Christmas day comforted by the warmth of a caring community.
We've had a pretty good Christmas already just having these two, and once the community found out, it's just amazing the response we've had. People have just been so terrific.
For 12-year-old Holly, what happened Thursday morning has finally set in.
I'm glad that we got out okay and everything, that none of the other family members were there, because it was just, I don't think they would have made it out.
The Setrum family is staying with friends tonight, but already donations to help them rebuild their lives are flooding into this northern Wisconsin community. In Hayward, Jill Enval, News 6.
I like it. I like cold weather.
How long you lived here?
I live in Minneapolis. We're visiting my girlfriend's relatives up here.
And they have you out doing it, and you don't even live here?
I volunteered.
They got, I don't know how many kids was in there. I can't, there had to be over 7. Huh? 10 kids are in there, and they got them all out, except the one. And that one didn't have a mother. You see, the others all had mothers.
She's struck really down.